ora, hello, thanks very much for joining us. I'm Philip Duncan, it's good to be back. Well, the forecast this week is looking pretty settled in the New Zealand area, although we do have a rainmaker and some windier weather moving in later this week. But over in Australia, plenty of rainmakers coming through, quite a different weather pattern affecting them. So let's take a look and see what is happening. On the animated wind map, we've got a big high pressure zone parked between New Zealand and Australia. That's driving in a slightly cooler southerly for some areas in New Zealand today, but it's still pretty warm inland, and that warm cool mix will produce a few afternoon downpours later today in the upper North Island and also maybe the upper South Island. Meanwhile, in Australia, low pressure zone right here is going to be drifting eastwards in the days ahead, combining with the easterly flow on this side. The two winds meet, convergence, and that creates enhanced downpours or heavier downpours into the forecast. So let's try and make sense of all of that. Here is the 3-day rainfall outlook for New Zealand. Most of the colours on this are at the very start of the scale. Blue, green, yellow. That's just a couple of spits up to maybe 10 millimetres. There might be some heavier downpours around Tokoroa. That's where we're seeing some afternoon thunderstorms. Not everybody in this yellow zone will have a downpour, but that is the risk zone for those downpours happening over the next couple of days. So it might form anywhere in there, and then the sea breeze drifts it around in whichever direction. Further south you go, it dries out. Same story in the South Island as well. Downpours more likely in the north, and we've got a bit of wet weather coming into Fiordland a little bit later on. So pretty dry in New Zealand, but look at Australia, very wet on that eastern side, and as that low comes through, the rainfall totals lift right up, especially down here in Victoria. Over 100 millimetres forecast for you over the next 6 days, and there'll also be 100 millimetres plus for some of these coastal parts of Queensland. 0 millimetres over here, nice and easy, Western Australia. Thanks for keeping my job nice and easy. So let's get into the forecast. Here we are for Wednesday. Here's that high pressure belt moving into Australia. A couple of downpours around the North Island, a few showers as we just saw, otherwise mostly dry. The low pressure zone moves in towards Adelaide. You'll have downpours all the way up to Darwin, and then that low drifts slowly over to the eastern side where it will join up with those showers you can see there. On Thursday, that starts to happen a little bit more so the rain expands across Australia. Over New Zealand, high pressure expands across us. There still could be an isolated Waikato downpour maybe, but otherwise it is looking fairly dry. Now, by the time we get to the end of the working week, high pressure is sliding off New Zealand. That's encouraging a subtropical airflow to move through. So Friday will end on a warm note nationwide, with rain in Fiordland and a bit of wet weather might move into Southland later on, cloudy with a few spits of showers or stuff like that. It won't be very much, I don't think, as far as rain totals are concerned for Southland or Otago, but that rain is sliding over there for you on Friday. So let's take a look at the weekend now. You can still see plenty of wet weather around the eastern side of Australia, but it is starting to break up as that low moves out over to Fiordland and southwestland, where rainfall totals will start to go up this weekend. Temperatures go up across most of New Zealand, but not all of New Zealand. Southern areas on Saturday will have a temperature drop of several degrees. And our final map for Sunday shows a cooler airflow coming in to the lower part of the South Island and the top half of New Zealand. Sorry, the North Island and the top half of the South Island are in that warmer subtropical airflow. So there'll be some downpours in between that warm and cold airflow, but much cooler on Sunday in the South Island, still pretty warm and hot for those in the north. Plenty of showers up in the tropics and still wet weather on that eastern side of Australia. So you're sort of just getting to see the patterns now showing up, and not a drop of rain over in Perth. Nice and easy. So there we go. That is the forecast through until Sunday. We're back again tomorrow with our next update.